And now the defense decides to spend a timeout to regroup a bit. Fresh set of downs for the offense. First down. Off the play fake, looking to throw. Trying to extend the play. On the run, he'll let it go. Finds a man downfield. That's a big gain to the right. And an explosive gain moves the ball across midfield. They'll spot it at the 42. First down play call. How aggressive will it be? Here's the handoff. They pick up 4, so second down and 6 coming up.
It's exactly what you want to see as a play caller. You get positive yards to be able to kind of keep you on schedule as a play caller. That's all you can ask for. Good job up front and a nice run.
Quarterback leaves the pocket on the move now. Got him. He's sacked.
There are a lot of times when you see a sack like this, you got to give a lot of credit to the coverage downfield. I don't think the quarterback really felt good about anybody being open, so he held the ball just a little bit too long and allows the defense to come up with the first sack of the game.
That sack makes it third down. To throw, it's Beck. He's running out of time here. Pressure comes, and once again, no escape. The Dogs will have to kick it away.
I like the call here, but you can't run long, developing play-action passes like that if the offensive line is not going to give the quarterback time to throw.
He's got an opening. Watch out. He's got great speed. They finally get him down, but that's a solid return. Good work by the return man. The Longhorns offense comes out for their first possession today. Well, wide receiver Kirk, this dangerous, who lines up all over the place. Can the linebackers step up and help out the secondary enough today?
Yeah, usually you see these matchups, the slot receiver has a big advantage. But I'll tell you, this linebacker is an excellent athlete, but the wide receiver he's covering today will pose a textbook challenge to see if he can truly cover.
He's hit as he throws it. It's incomplete. He was hit as he threw. Good pass rush there on first down.
Man, you got to love this if you're defensive coordinator. It's all about affecting the quarterback and getting pressure on him. This time they got to him and forced that incompletion.
He hands it off from the gun. Tackled after a 3-yard gain, so it sets up a 3rd and 7.
Christian, the spread era over the years has always grown offensively, but I've been always impressed with defenses that really build their defense to play in space, still have an ability to be sound at the line of scrimmage and defend a running game. It's exactly what we saw right there.
He'll wisely throw that one away. So on their first drive of the game, they'll go for it in their own territory. 4th down. He's throwing for it. Caught over the middle. It's Moore. Oh, they've stopped him short. What a 4th down play, and they will take over on downs now. And the Bulldogs offense is back out on the field. The last drive, they came up empty, had to kick it away. Can they come up with something here? This line getting set up. It's a first down play. Looking downfield, it's Beck. Oh, a nice play by the defender. Got a hand in there to break up the pass.
This secondary knows how to keep their eye on the football and how to break on the ball. I thought the receiver was open. I thought it was going to be a completion. It gives you an idea of how instinctive and how athletic he is by getting into the way of that and knocking it away.
On the move, but can't find a receiver, and he's brought down.
Now, the offense tried to go play action there, but how about the big man in the middle? This defensive tackle showing you he's athletic as well. Gets to the quarterback, comes up with a big sack.
Looking to throw it on 3rd and very long. Fires it to the wideout. Oh, it's picked off. What a play. He's got some open field ahead. Inside the 10. Touchdown, Longhorns. Wow, what a play. A defensive score. And a pick six, a monster play by this defense here.
That defender showed a lot of athletic ability there with the ball in his hands. I wouldn't be surprised if the head coach watching that thought about maybe giving him some reps as a returner after that touchdown.
And the PAT makes it 7-0 to open scoring. The kickoff team on the field now as they get set to send this one away. From inside the 15-yard line, bringing it out. He's brought down at the 28. That's where the drive will start. And the Georgia offense is back out on the field. They have got to bounce back on this possession after throwing a pick six last time out here. On 1st and 10 here, looking to throw the ball. And he'll rifle this one deep to the right side. And a flag flies as the pass falls incomplete. Let's see who this is on. Obviously, the defense will decline that penalty on the offense and take the result of that play. 2nd down play coming up. To the air, it's Beck. And the junior gets home, making a sack there.
I mean, that's another sack, Chris. I mean, we're just getting started here. First half, you're already talking about giving up 3 sacks. You got to think about changing things up schematically, help that offensive line, and help that poor quarterback before he gets killed.
Drops back, looking to throw for it on 3rd down. But they don't connect. It's incomplete, and it brings up 4th down.
Chris, I don't know if it's the hype of the national championship, the timing between the quarterback and his receivers, but they have not been able to get anything going at all here in the first half. And the problem is they're already down in this game. They've got to put the ball through the air and start hitting some passes, or there's no chance they come back and have a chance to win.
Okay, the Texas offense comes back out on the field. 1st down here for this offense. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. Nice grab. It's Golden. Heads out of bounds as a short gain on the play.
The quarterback looks downfield to make this throw. He wants to be able to get the ball to be able to pick up enough yards for a 1st down. But instead, he gets the ball at least underneath to the drag route and gets some positive yards.
Quarterback looking to throw it on 2nd down. Airing this one out toward the sideline. And he's got it. Touchdown, Texas.
You put 5 wide receivers into a formation that puts so much pressure on the defense. Do you have enough guys that can cover? The quarterback does such a good job of finding the weakness and exploiting it.
Now they'll empty the backfield on this 2-point conversion. Back to throw. It's Ewers. He's moving out of the pocket. And he'll make it into the end zone to increase the lead even more.
No issue here. Quarterback decides to call his own number on the conversion and gets it done.
Kickoff team on the field getting set now. And he fields it inside the 15. Returner brought down. Sets up the next drive. And the powerful Georgia offense is back out on the field. They're coming off a quick 3-and-out, so looking to put something together on this drive with a little more urgency. Play action here on 1st down. Here's a throw underneath the tight end. And the player is down injured after that last play. We'll take a timeout while they check him out. And completion makes it 2nd and short. They'll try the ground game here with the running back. They'll stop him behind the line for a loss of 1.
Well, I don't think the offensive line gave the back much of a chance at all. Now, give credit to the defense. It was almost like they were anticipating a run and got up close to the line of scrimmage in a hurry.
Looking to pick up the 1st down through the air. Caught near the sticks. It's Etienne. That gain is good enough for a first down. Ball spotted at the 42.
What a clutch play here by this offense to convert on third down. I know it's still early in this game, but the fact that they've dug themselves a hole to convert there and keep this drive alive, they got a new set of downs and a chance to dig into this lead.
Off the play fake, looking to throw on first down. Scrambling, now he'll make the throw. Getting set. Here's second down. Here comes the handoff. Tackled behind the line. It's a loss of 2. They don't block the defensive end and show some quickness, Kirk, getting around the edge that time.
Yeah, this guy's usually getting around the edge to put pressure on the quarterback, but he reminds everybody here that this guy's a complete package. Not only can he pressure the quarterback, but also he is very, very talented and shows you the physicality he has against the run as well.
Breaking free at midfield. That's a big gain before he goes out of bounds. It'll move the sticks, more than enough for a first down. So Texas has the lead, Kirk, as we break here for the quarter. So both teams settling in this battle for the national championship. Through one quarter, let's check out the game summary. So here we go, first play of the quarter. The offense has a first down. Little eye candy here from the offense, some pre-snap motion. Handoff from the shotgun. Finding some room at the 25. They bring him down, but that's a solid gain on the play.
Nothing better than an offense on first down to be able to pick up big positive yards like that. You can either keep giving it to the back, or it can set up play action and get the defense to come up to the line of scrimmage, and you can throw it over top of it.
From inside the red zone, they're looking to throw. Catch made on the out route. Breaks a tackle on the play and makes a decent gain.
Boy, that's pretty good coverage here by this defense. Not much of a window to throw this ball into, but the quarterback's accuracy and the size of the tight end picks up a nice gain.
Using his legs, it's Etienne. And the senior able to make the stop after a short gain.
Well, another short gain for this offense on the ground, and you got to give a lot of credit to the defense. They have really negated that aspect of this offense the entire first half and really making them one-dimensional. And if that doesn't change, I don't know how they get back into this game.
Goes backwards, losing 3 yards there.
Boy, just stoned at the line of scrimmage by this defensive front. They have been having their way at the line of scrimmage the entire first half of this national championship. And if these guys do not find a way to become more than one-dimensional, there's no way they're going to...
Got space, looking to score. And he stopped just short, down to the 2, but an excellent run.
Hello, Mr. Defensive Coordinator. You may want to account for the quarterback. Are you kidding me? A quarterback scramble for this many yards? You got to make adjustments. Account for this guy's legs.
Looking to pass. It's Beck. And the senior making a disruptive impact play.
I hate to question a play call, but that close to the goal line on first and goal and throw it. Why not run the football right there?
It's a second and goal play for the offense. They'll try to run this one in. Couldn't quite get there, but brought down at the 1-yard line.
Well, they came very close to punching that one in, and now third down and goal. And if I'm the OC, I challenge my offensive line in that back. I just slam it right back into that A-gap and try to overpower that defensive front.
See what they can do here. Third down and goal from the 1. Keep it on the ground, trying to power in for the touchdown. And it'll be Smothers right at the line for no gain.
Well, great stop here by this defense to bring us to fourth down and decision time for the head coach. You go the easy route with a field goal, or this close to the goal line, you take a chance and try to get that touchdown.
It's fourth and goal. Forget the chip shot. They're going for it on fourth down. And the quarterback will just sneak it now. Makes it across the goal line. Touchdown, Bulldogs. extra point try coming now. PAT is good. They still trail, though. Now they get set to kick it away. Fielded in the end zone. It's Golden. Tackled at the 12. The coach wishes he'd left that one in the end zone. The Longhorns offense takes the field. They punched it in their last possession. Can they do it again? Or will this defense make some adjustments to get a stop? So the first play of the drive coming up here. Under 3 minutes to play before half. And looking for a big play here. The catch is made for a huge pickup. Oh, and he breaks free. It's a foot race. No stopping him. Takes it all the way. Touchdown, Longhorns.
This guy has a knack for the end zone, doesn't he? That's 2 touchdowns for this guy today, and I don't know if he's done yet.
Now the important point after attempt. He's missed the PAT. Wow. Kickoff team is on the field. Let's see if they give the returner a chance to bring this one back. Bringing it out. It's Bell. And it'll be tackled right at the 20. That's a good job by the coverage team. And the Bulldogs offense is back out on the field. In the last possession, the defense just had no answer for this powerful ground game. Let's see what they can do this time. So they begin the drive here in the final 3 minutes of the half. Off the play fake on first down. And the pass is intercepted as he throws into double coverage that time. Not a big return, but the play ends the scoring threat. The offense will now take over at the 30.
Oh, Chris, against zone coverage like that and the ball thrown deep down the middle of the field, you've got to layer that throw in. Very challenging throw, requires a nice touch with a strong arm, and the quarterback that time just did not make the throw.
Tackle made after a big gain. It's the 2-minute warning. We've got a blowout developing here before halftime. The Longhorns move into the red zone. Running game is working. They'll stick with it on first down. And they'll make it into the end zone. Touchdown, Texas. So they'll try to add to the lead now with the PAT. The extra point is good, and they stretch the lead a little bit more. Now the kickoff team is out on the field. Texas. Fielded in the end zone. It's Bell. Will be tackled at the 17. Strong job by the coverage team. And the Georgia offense is back out on the field. They're in a hole here before they have a chance to regroup at halftime. Let's see if they can cut into this big lead. Handoff here from the shotgun. They test the middle of the defense, but get nothing.
I mean, Chris, you have to admire this offense. They continue to try to sprinkle in the run game, even though it's not been able to really get established. But they're not just becoming one-dimensional. You got to respect that, and hopefully at some point it'll pay off.
It's incomplete. That was caused by the defensive pressure, and now it brings up third down. Dropping back, looking to throw for the first down. And he throws his third interception of the day.
Really nice job of mixing up the looks here by this defense. Sometimes man, sometimes zone. They fool the quarterback here completely, and he throws the pick.
Okay, the Texas offense comes back out on the field. Offense protecting the lead here, but they've been playing so well. Let's see if they go for more before halftime. Get some space around the 30.
Boy, really good run by this running back. The defense fortunate to be able to bring him down inside the 10-yard line, but it's first and goal for the offense.
Offense racing down the field. It sets up a first and goal inside the 10. Scanning the field. It's yours. And that's incomplete. Even on a first down pass attempt, he felt heavy pressure.
The defense does a good job of being aggressive here and not slowing down their pass rush. They put pressure on him, and instead of him throwing it away, he throws it against his body back into the teeth of the defense. I thought they might come up with a pick.
Coming up, second down and goal. Looking to score, they'll run it to the right side. That's a nice wrap up there by the junior.
Boy, Chris, the way this quarterback's been playing, I'm surprised they didn't throw the football here. I wouldn't be surprised now that they're facing third down and goal. Put it in his hands and let him work his magic.
The offense has been moving backwards here. Now a long way to go on third and goal. And they hit him just as he releases the ball. It's incomplete.
Hey, the good news is here, Chris, they're still in field goal range, and they didn't cost themselves any points. But they could have more. You got to be thinking about going for this on fourth and short.
They pass up the chip shot field goal attempt. They're going to go for it on fourth down. Here's the snap. Quarterback drops back. Intercepted right near the end zone. What a play. And midfield. Inside the 40. Inside the 20. Takes the pick to the end zone. Touchdown, Dogs. See if they can convert the point after. The extra point is good. Still a two-touchdown deficit, 28-14. So after the touchdown, here's the kickoff, and we'll see if the opposing offense has time to answer before halftime. Bringing it out, it's Golden. And he gets it out to the 28, tackle right there. The Longhorns offense takes the field. Let's see how this offense plays this. They try to get some more points for the half or play it more conservatively. Looking to throw. It's yours. And he lofts it toward the sideline. That one is incomplete. Took a downfield shot on first down, but missed it.
Well, Chris, the offense takes a shot downfield, and this defender does a great job of making a play on the ball. Not only that, he tips that ball up into the air. Good.
And he'll just lob this pass into the middle of the field. The downfield shot is incomplete. Brings up third down.
You know, the game often comes down to a play or two, and the offense just missed a huge opportunity for a big play. They're going to have to make some adjustments there and maybe go
Lofting it toward the left sideline. And that's incomplete. They weren't afraid to let it fly, but brings up a fourth down.
And I think the quarterback here forces the ball because it's third down, but he's got to be careful having the ball on his own side of the field. That ball was almost picked off.
4th and 10 after 3 straight incompletions. Can they connect this time? Throws it to the right. He's got it. Enough for a first down. Tackled at the 44, but good enough for a first down. The offense spends their final timeout of the half here to talk strategy. The offense comes back out there. Not much time left. Perhaps just time for a couple plays before the half. Here comes a first down pass attempt. Contact as he threw it. And it's incomplete. Even on a first down throw, he was under some heavy pressure.
Well, it's pretty simple. The defensive line does a great job of getting after the quarterback and forcing him into that incompletion.
Second down after the incompletion. And the quarterback dropping back. And he lofts it toward the left sideline. And it's intercepted right near the goal line. Tackled on the return, and that's how we'll end the first half of play. Minutes going to wrap up the first half here. Let's kick it now to Kevin Connors with our halftime update.
Chris, thanks. What else might we expect in a game of this magnitude? Everything on the line. The eyes of the sports world on this battle with the coveted gold trophy at stake. And we've got to start our halftime breakdown with this superstar running back. His elusiveness, his raw power. This young man is the total package. And his ability to catch the ball out of the backfield is a differentiator. A lot of guys can hit the hole. This kid can hit the hole and hit the home run in the passing game. And with that, let's send it back to Chris and Kirk in the booth. Fellas, hard to believe we're only one half away from crowning a national champion.
And it's field, and returner trying to create good field position here. He'll be tackled at the 18. That's good coverage there. Okay, the Texas offense comes back out on the field. First down play call coming up. How aggressive will it be? They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. Running back grabs it on the screen. They finally get him down, but a solid gain in that screen pass. Good call there.
Well, he continues to have time to throw the football, and he makes this defense pay for it. Now, they realized coming into this game they had to take away his ability to throw the football downfield, but it's the receivers and their plays after the catch that's really giving them a hard time.
They're finally able to stop him, but the defense is fooled a bit on that screen play. It's a solid gain for a first down.
That's another accurate throw by this quarterback. And Chris, when we did our prep to get ready for the national championship, we all knew that this quarterback potentially could have a big day. But I didn't expect him to get into this kind of zone. This guy cannot miss.
Oh, they've got him for a sack. A big play made by the junior.
That is outstanding defense to be able to leverage this quarterback. That is a tough thing to do. This guy's as fleet-footed as any quarterback in the country, and to be able to bring him down for a loss like that is a major accomplishment.
And the running back takes the handoff. Breaks loose at the 45. He's swarmed by the defense. Longhorns come to the line in a hurry-up. Back's got it again. Breaks loose at the 40. And moves the ball to the 35. And another first down. A running play gives the offense a fresh set of downs.
Boy, just a blown opportunity here by this defense. They got him to third down. A chance to...
Oh, and it's fumbled. The lateral goes long. And the defense jumps on the football.
Oh, what a play by this defense. Trailing in the second half. Really, the only way you can get back into this game is create turnovers. Ball's on the ground, they bounce on it, and they get the ball back to their own offense.
Three guys up front lined up. It's first down. They'll run it here. Picks up 2, so it's 2nd and 8.
See, that's how you limit what an offense wants to do. This time, the defense just won the battle up front at the line of scrimmage, not giving up any big plays. Everybody's gap sound, and it's really solid defense on that play.
He'll throw it now. Caught on the outside. It's Bell. And he heads out of bounds after gaining a few yards.
Love the timing here between the quarterback and his receiver. Pick up some positive yards, and I continue to be impressed with just the chemistry between these two.
Escapes the pocket, but cannot make a play, and they sack him.
Between the defensive scheme and the athletic ability of this front and the linebackers getting pressure as well, the way they've been able to harass this quarterback has a lot to do with why they're enjoying such a big lead in the national title.
The pass rush closing in. And they've got him a sack to end the drive. What a play by this defense.
Well, the ball's close to midfield, and this offense is trying to get things going here in the second half. I understand the aggressive mindset, but this one could cost them.
The Longhorns offense takes the field. They got into plus territory last time, but the drive ended on a fumble. They got to shake that off immediately.
Defense does a really nice job here of being able to contain that run game, held them just to 2 yards. This, to me, this changes the playbook a little bit now for the offense. The guy calling the plays at 2nd and 8, that's a different deal. Now he's got to probably thinking about going through the air instead of staying on the ground.
Offense been in reverse here. Now a long way to go to convert this 3rd down. To the air. It's yours. Looking to scramble. He's going to take off. In the clear at the 25. Heads out of bounds after a solid gain, more than enough to pick up a 1st down.
Man, nothing is more aggravating for a defensive coordinator than this right here. You've got him. You've got a chance to make a play on him, take him out of his rhythm, but instead, this guy gets away from that pressure, tucks it, and picks up some big yards.
Longhorns looking to cash in this red zone trip. Trying to run it. It's Blue. The junior able to bring him down quickly. A gain sets up a 3rd down play. Motion now from the tight end. Ball handed off. Stopped right there at the line. No gain.
Well, it seemed like the offense was trying to throw some kind of misdirection with that run there. But give credit to the defense. They were prepared for anything, and they swallowed that running back up. Nice defensive stand.
They're 1 for 3 so far on 4th down attempts. Can they convert here? Quarterback drops back, probing the secondary. Finds his man, has the 1st down. Touchdown, Longhorns. Still no answer for this offensive machine.
This guy can do it all. We've seen him go behind coverage and make plays downfield. We can see him catch the ball underneath, just like this. And when he catches a football, he is so dangerous after the catch. This one leads him into the end zone for the 6 points.
Here's the snap, looking to throw here. And he makes it into the end zone to add 2 more to the lead.
Well, we know this quarterback is a threat throwing the football. Here he uses his legs to get this 2-point conversion. Nice call.
He's got it inside the 15. And he's brought down after a decent return out of the 31. And the powerful Georgia offense is back out on the field. The last time they went forward on 4th down, didn't get it, and it ended up costing them 6 points. And they bounce back here. And a short pitch and catch to the tight end. But a huge hit by the linebacker. What a tackle.
Well, I thought we'd see this tight end all game long within this game plan, but that's just his 2nd catch of the game. The defense has done a nice job of being able to recognize where he is and take him out of this plan.
Looks like Georgia will have the 1st down.
Look, I realize on any play call, when it's properly executed, it can go to the house for a touchdown. But the runs that really make a game plan work are the ones where you get just what you need. And he barely got the 1st down, but he got it.
Brought down, but broke a tackle to produce a solid gain there. So Texas has the lead, Kirk, as we break here for the quarter. So 3 quarters complete in this battle to crown a national championship. Before moving on, let's check out the game summary so far. So 1 final quarter to play. It's going to take a lot to turn this game around, but strange things do happen in college football. What's the play call here on 2nd down for this offense? Back to pass. It's back. It's a screen pass complete to the running back. Nowhere to run. They'll corral him for no gain.
Interesting call here, Chris, with a screen pass in the 4th quarter late in the game. I think they're expecting the defense to get upfield on the pass rush, but give the defense all the credit. Recognizing it, almost really anticipating that this screen was coming, and then rallying to the ball.
Tackled inside the 40, and it's good enough for a 1st down.
Chris, here we are in the 4th quarter. These guys are trailing. Had been a great day, but with this quarterback, he's as gifted as anybody in the country. You never count these guys out.
And looking to throw now on 1st down. And it falls incomplete. The defensive pressure hurried the throw that time.
It's pretty simple as a defensive coordinator. When the quarterback drops back to throw, if we get pressure on him, we got a chance to slow him down and win the football game. If we don't, could be a long afternoon. Good job here by dialing up the pressure.
Quick throw, testing the middle. Not enough on that one. It falls incomplete.
All of this pressure and sacks are starting to impact this quarterback. You can sense that internal timer is sped up a bit more than usual.
Makes the catch downfield. They bring him down, but an explosive play by this offense. Big game.
Really good job here of converting by this offense. And let's face it, at this point in the game, because they have such a big hole to climb out of, they've got to be able to convert and come up with a new set of downs. They do it here. Now they got a real shot to cut into this lead.
So here comes second down now. Every play important down here in the red zone. There's the snap. Quarterback setting up the throw. Another interception. That's number 4 today. Are you kidding me? Not much on the return, but they snuff out the drive with the takeaway.
Just a great job of anticipating that and coming up with a big interception by this defense. Because they have this lead, they've really forced this offense to become one-dimensional. They're expecting the ball to be into the air. The defensive backs have their eyes on the ball, and they're able to capitalize with a big pick here in the national title.
2 backs now flanking the quarterback. They'll work the clock here with the running game. That's a nice wrap-up there by the junior.
The defense coordinator this week all week telling us about gap integrity, not giving this running back any creases at all. Really sound defense on that play.
They're backed up here, trying to make something happen on 3rd and long. Off play action, he's looking to throw. And it's the senior getting home with the sack.
The defender did not bite on the fake at all. They were in pass rush mode the entire time.
They've already gone for it 4 times and converted twice. Here comes a 5th. Trying for a 4th down completion. The QB throws his 3rd pick of the day. Brings the interception all the way back. Touchdown, Georgia.
Chris, how about the defense coming up with a huge play here? Not only the turnover, but it leads them to a score with a touchdown on this interception. Now they're trying to get back into this game. They may have a shot to make it a lot closer than what we thought.
Back to pass. It's Beck. Defense is coming after him. And he goes down, but there's also a flag down. If it's on the defense, it's going to be a 1st down. Getting set to kick the ball off now. Fielded in the end zone. It's Golden. Tackled at the 13. Not great field position to start the drive. Okay, the Texas offense comes back out on the field. It'll be interesting to see if this quarterback can bounce back. He threw a pick 6 in the last possession. Fresh set of downs for the offense. 1st down. Off the play fake, looking to throw. Pressure is coming. And he's sacked. He'll be brought down right at the 5-yard line.
This defense recognized that this offense wanted to throw the football. They pinned their ears back, got into attack mode, and came up with a nice sack.
The offense will quickly spend a timeout here after the play. Second and long now from their own 5-yard line. On the handoff, they'll test the right side here. Breaking tackles. And the runner scoots out of bounds after gaining some decent yardage.
Well, this is a huge 3rd down coming up here. And here's where that chess match comes to head. And for the defense, they desperately need to make a play if they believe they have any chance of coming back to win this game.
Goes backwards, losing 3 yards there. That was that excellent linebacker with a clear path to just run it downhill quickly.
You know, I think one of the great things about watching this guy play all year is his vision. He just has great instincts. That time, the defensive line ate up all the linemen, freed up the linebacker to get into the backfield, and the result is a tackle for a loss for the backer.
So 4th down and 15. The offense is out there going for it. Looking downfield. It's yours. And it's incomplete under heavy pressure. A big fourth down stop. And the Bulldogs offense is back out on the field.
Wow, Chris, I don't know. You've got control of this game, and you go for it here? A little bit confusing. Why even allow your opponent any chance of anything? Finish out the win and just punt it away.
Touchdown, Bulldogs. This offense really clicking. Well, they began with great field position, and that didn't take long at all, Kurt.
Well, that's how you take advantage of an opportunity. Your defense sets you up in great field position. You're not looking for a field goal.
Intercepted, picked off by the defense. Kickoff team is on the field to boot this one away. Bringing it out. It's Golden. Solid coverage there. They get him at the 15. That's where the offense will take over. The Longhorns offense takes the field. Remember, last time they went for it on fourth down and got stopped. The opponent went right down the field. Let's see if they can recover from that here. First down here. Time for one more play before the clock stops for the 2-minute warning. Eludes a tackle. It's a nice gain. They'll move the football up to the 27. And that's the 2-minute warning. And this offense looking to run out the clock and secure an impressive win here today. On first down, why not keep it on the ground? And tackled after a small pickup there.
You know, in the era that we live in right now, everybody wants to spread the field around, try to create space, try to create one-on-one matchups, and the defense has countered over the years by trying to play out wide. But here's a great example. The defense has the ability to play wide, but still be sacked.
Got him for a sack. A big play made them one of the senior leaders of this defense.
Well, the quarterback makes a mistake here. That's football 101. Once you get outside of the pocket, you've got to get rid of the football in this situation and not take the sack, especially in the fourth quarter.
Now a timeout taken by the defense, trying to preserve as much clock as possible for their offense. So a tricky situation here. Third and very long inside your own 20. How much of a risk do you take? You know, this defense could be very aggressive at this moment. They stop him for a 2-yard gain, which will bring up fourth down. The Longhorns will come to the line looking to convert on fourth down. Needs a completion here on fourth down. He's moving out of the pocket. And he's brought down. A sack for the defense coming up big on this fourth down play. Offense stops the clock with their second timeout. You talk strategy.
Now, the quarterback's got to get the ball out of his hands. He had a lot of time back there in the pocket, looking over the field, desperately trying to find an open receiver. Nobody's open, but he still's got to take off or try to make a play. Instead, he's sacked, and it's a turn.
And that is interception number 5 as the nightmare performance continues. He's got some room and some blockers here. Finally steps out of bounds after a long return. What a play by the defense.
Oh, man, Chris, I really thought this offense had a chance to get back into this game. The only thing you'd hate to see is the interception. But give credit to the defense. They come up with a big play that potentially ices the game.
Okay, the Texas offense comes back out on the field. First play of the drive, looking to throw the football. He'll take a deep shot here. And it's intercepted on a desperation throw here. Not much on the return, but they create the turnover.
Boy, just when it looked like they had complete control of the national championship, they turned the ball over. The only real mistake they could have made to give their opponent a chance to get back into the game, and they've done it.
Grab down the middle. It's Smith. Going the other way. Can they catch him? Out past the 30. The 10. Touchdown, Dogs. A strong fight back.
Well, hold on now, Chris. We're under 2 minutes to go, and these guys will not go away. They hit this extra point, and they cover an onside kick. You never know.
PAT up and good. They get a little bit closer. I believe they're going to line up here and go for the onside kick. It looks like the hands team are able to recover the football. And the Longhorns offense takes the field. You'd expect victory formation here. The defense has one timeout remaining, but that won't do much good. First down play call. How aggressive will it be? Gonna run it. It's Blue. And that's a solid gain for the defense, able to bring him down. And a timeout taken by the defense here with 19 seconds to play.
Another positive gain by this back. I'll tell you, between the offensive line sustaining blocks and this back's vision and ability to explode into that second level of this defense, this guy is having a monster day in the biggest stage of all in the national championship.
The defense all over it. They stop it right at the line. And the offense takes a timeout with 15 seconds remaining. Offense needing to keep this drive alive. It's a third down play. Testing the right side here. Zero running route. Stopped right at the line of scrimmage. And a timeout is called here. 10 seconds remaining on the clock. Leading here late in the game, they'll keep the offense on the field, trying to keep possession and stretch the lead. Fourth down, looking to throw for it. Flips it to the running back, but he's got work to do. He did not get it. A crucial play by this defense. What a fourth down stop. Got to get points quickly here. Looking for explosive plays right now. Didn't quite get the playoff in time. It'll be delay of game. Delay of game. Offense. And the delay of game penalty will push the offense back 5. That's it. It's official. We have our national champions. They're the last team standing at the top of the mountain, Kirk. National champions.
Well, it's been so much fun to watch this team play all year long. They've had some challenging moments. They've been able to overcome them. And how fitting, a close game in the national championship. They come through one more time. And as you say, they hold the trophy. They are the national champions of the year.
And that is going to wrap it up. We enjoyed this one here. For Kirk Herbstreit, I'm Chris Fowler, and this has been another presentation of EA Sports College Football.
This storied house has seen some of the game's greats. Boz, Bradford, Peterson, and Stoops. Welcome, everyone, to Norman, Oklahoma, and the Palace on the Prairie, home to the Oklahoma Sooners. What a game and what potential drama we have in store. You've seen this script before. Top 10 team goes into a cauldron of emotion on the road and just hopes to be able to get out and tell about it. as we'll see the number 9 team in the country, the LSU Tigers, taking on another team from the SEC, the Oklahoma Sooners. For EA Sports College Football, Reese Davis with you alongside David Pollack and Jesse Palmer. Time to get this game started. And the Sooners will kick it away to start us off. And he'll return it and try to get behind his blockers. He was looking for more running room, but none to be found as he stopped at the 23. The LSU Tigers offense is on the field for the first time today. And these guys involve everybody in the passing game, and none more prominent than this big fella.
And the quarterback knows he's going to be under duress in this game. So who do you look for? The tight end. And there aren't many better than this guy.
No, and just big bodies that you can miss a little bit high, and it really doesn't matter. But over the middle of the field, closer throws, so nice to have a security blanket with a great tight end.
Makes the grab. It's Lacy. They make the stop, but the sweet rolling catch is plenty to give them a first down. Just about any LSU offense will make you hold your breath when they play pitch and catch.
Yeah, just such elite playmakers usually, just such speed. And listen, when you're a defense, speed kills. And LSU, no matter who plays quarterback, they always got dudes that can fly out wide that absolutely scare you.
He's run out of bounds, but a big play on that one, and it'll be a first down. This crowd, full throat, splitting the eardrums and letting them know it's going to be a long day. A solid pickup there before the defense is able to make the stop.
Offensive linemen love to run the power. Why? You run power. You run power. Then you can play action. You don't want that defense to be sitting there saying, it's a pass, having to pass block every play. You've got to keep defenses off balance.
Man, this guy is so scary when he has the ball in his hands. He kind of reminds me, he's got a little bit of Leonard Fournette. He's got a little bit of Clyde Edwards-Helaire, you know, just that shake and bake. And when they get in the second level, DBs just don't seem to know how to tackle this guy. You don't want to submarine. He might hurtle over you, but if you don't go in with conviction, and he's got the speed to get outside and take it the distance, this dude just makes your heart stop every time he has the ball.
Offense gets set for second down. Back to pass, it's Nussmeier. Finds a soft spot in the middle. They bring him down, but a solid pickup to put them in position to pick up a first down. Here comes this home crowd as the defense tries to get off the field on third down. Pressure coming. And he was drilled just as he released the pass. It's incomplete.
And on money down defensively, you got to find ways to affect the quarterback. Nice job.
Dialed up the... Forget the kick. He's going to throw it. And they thought they could pull off the surprise. Well, the surprise was on them. A stop. So Oklahoma's offense will go to work for the first time. Typically, the last thing a defense wants is to have a backer on a wide receiver, but we may see some of that today, guys.
Typically, you don't see linebackers that can run like this guy, and that's why they feel okay letting him cover this dynamic wide receiver one-on-one.
Yeah, and feel okay, it's not going to be a good thing. You better get your hands on him early. Put your physicality, let that win. It ain't going to be your speed.
Looks as if they didn't get it off in time. It'll be a delay of game.
Delay of game. Offense.
There's a difference between being methodical and thorough and slow. They were slow, and they got the flag. The offense lining up for a first down play. From the shotgun, the inside give. They make the stop, but not before he takes a chunk out of what they need to move the sticks. Kept it on the ground on first down. See if they stick with that plan on second. Looking for a man. It's Arnold. Got his man quickly. And he'll be taken down, but he does have enough for the first down.
Well, they execute the end route. How about the arm strength by the QB? That was an absolute bullet on that completion.
Now on first down from the 40. From the gun, running back gets the give. He's knocked down in the backfield, a swarming defense, and he'll lose 7.
It's hard to run on a defense that comes off the ball like that and runs to the football like that. Good luck. No holes anywhere.
Second down coming up. He's looking to throw. And there was nowhere to go for this quarterback, and down he goes.
That is not an easy situation if you're an offensive lineman, second and third and long, because you know the D-line, they're coming. They know you're throwing the football. As an O-lineman, you better get out of your stance and get your hands up and punch.
Can anyone catch him? Past the 10. Touchdown, Oklahoma! And once he found open space, the band might as well start playing. You want to make sure this Boomer Sooner crowd gets it going early. That is one way to get it done.
And we get to break out the Sooner Schooner. The wagon gets to come out. Everybody gets jacked up. Everybody gets excited. Oklahoma has an electric atmosphere. And when these fans get involved early like this, good luck.
He'll start the return inside his 5. Couldn't find a way to create that broken field as he stopped at the 25. The Bayou Bengals will run the offense out onto the field. Line gets set, first down. Use the play fake, now to throw. And he got smacked just as he released the pass. It's incomplete.
This pass rush is serious, man. When you watch them on film, they do a nice job in the back end, taking away all the throws downfield. He's trying to get to his check down, but that pressure, it gets to him, and the hit forced the incomplete.
From the gun, they'll try to impose their will. Tackle is made at the 28 after a pickup of 3.
And those physical runs take a toll. It might not be a big game now, but down the road, third, fourth quarter, late in the ball games, they tend to turn into bigger runs.
That's caught. It's Daniels. And they pick up the first down in what might be the last play here in the first quarter. We reach the quarter break with Oklahoma on top. 1 period in the books, and let's take a look at the stats. Lots of time left, and we're ready to get back to it and open the second period. They'll start the drive here with first down to open this period. Looking to move it through the air. Takes a hit as he fires. And that pass intercepted. Just a small return, but a big play as they have it now at the 45.
Well, the defense was able to get to the QB, and I think that's what really creates the interception. Because of the pressure, because of the hit on the quarterback, it affected the velocity, it affected the accuracy of the throw. The defense comes away with a huge takeaway.
Here comes the Sooner offense back onto the field. They unleashed an aerial assault last time that took them right to the end zone, David.
So, Reese, with that drive, I think you've accomplished something you wanted to accomplish. Make this defense think. You put them back on their heels. Now, shoot, Palmer, you might be able to slip a few runs in on this drive to really jack them up.
Yeah, I like that idea, but I also like the fact that speed kills. They've got it at the receiver position, so if you've got one-on-one matchups, man, take advantage.
Just a savvy, veteran, productive run from this junior.
And a great job by the offensive line. You're going to run the ball right at the middle. You better control the line of scrimmage. You can see the center, the guard, the tackles doing a good job getting on their guys just enough where this running back can get into space and make the big game.
Relying on the run, he gets a couple before he's knocked down. Ball's at the 13.
And these RPOs always put the defense in a bind. But listen, you give up the run, they get a short little gain, no harm, no foul.
Going to work on second down in the red zone, and still some ground to cover to pick up that first down. They're setting up the screen. That completion gets them inside the 10, and the defense is running out of room to defend.
Well, it's important in this game, this offense gets the running back involved out on the perimeter in space where he can do some damage. That time they got it to him throwing the football. He picked up a couple of yards, but it gives the defense something to think about.
And this one will be stopped for no gain.
Keep the foot on the pedal if you're on offense here. You got that yardage. Yeah, you didn't get the first down, but you've set yourself up now to go for it here and keep this drive alive.
Now on 4th down and 5, they'll try to move the chains. He'll try to throw and pick up the first down. And they got him. A sack denies the try to convert on 4th down.
Well, that play never had a chance. On 4th down, they're trying to catch the defense off guard, throwing for it, but no protection. Quarterback didn't have an opportunity to step up and get rid of that football. Give the defense credit, man. Tremendous aggression there on 4th.
They've got a little time here to put together a productive drive late in the half. Throws to the wideout. Oh, he drops the football. He had him right down the gut of the field. Instead, it'll be 2nd down. Couldn't make the connection last time. Let's see if they throw it again. To the air, it's Nussmeier. Got his man downfield. Really needed a play like that to get out of their own end. They move the chains. They mark it at the 29. Wonder if they'll be conservative on 1st and 10. Leaves it with the back. And he won't quite get there, but boy, after that pickup, just a few inches to go for the first. An array of possibilities here. We've reached the 2-minute warning, and we have ourselves a ball game, and they have a chance to take the lead here before the half. And an empty backfield here on 2nd and short. He's looking to throw. He's going to take off. He will step out of bounds, but not before the big pickup and a first down for this offense.
It's just so nice as a coaching staff when you've got quarterbacks who make good decisions. And on a 2nd and short play, you're throwing it, you're trying to catch the defense napping, you might take a shot, nothing there. Go get it yourself. Make the right decision to keep it, not panic, and get you a fresh set of downs.
Yeah, and listen, I'm going to move this guy everywhere. He's in the slot this time, but I'm not going to let the defense understand where he's lining up so they can double team him, put him in the slot, put him out wide. Either way, find this guy early and often.
Throws to the back. The sure hands. It's Durham. That is exactly what you're looking for when you talk explosive plays. The defense finally able to make the stop. This first half of offense won't go on the highlight reel so far, but starting to get things moving, it's 1st and 10. And it's incomplete. If you're going to take a hit like that, you might as well hang on to the ball. A timeout is called as this offense tries to find a way to get more points on the board before the half. Operating in the red zone here on 2nd down. Looking to throw, it's Nussmeier. And the pressure gets there. And down he goes at the 18.
Great job by pass defense down here with their backs against the wall. They're doing a good job really constricting these windows for their quarterback to throw in.
Intercepted. And he's brought down, and this defense gets the ball back for its own.
This is obviously not a great start for this quarterback here. 2 interceptions already in this game. He's got to do a much better job with his decision making.
Time for this Sooner offense to go back to work. Now you find out just how much of a gunslinger you are. Will you roll the dice here late in the half? Fires into traffic, picked off. Touchdown, Bayou Bengals. How about that D coming up with a play like that? This time it's the defense finding ways to put points on the board.
There is nothing better than being a defender, seeing that ball in the end zone. Your eyes get big as saucers. Go, jump on that puppy, secure it, get you a touchdown.
And it'll be a touchback. The ball will come out to the 25-yard line. So Oklahoma has it again, and here comes the offense. Well, the good news is they threw a touchdown pass last time. It was just to the wrong team, Jesse.
Well, that's an unfortunate part of the game for quarterbacks, but guess what? They do happen. So you've got to be able to turn the page here and lead this offense.
Well, I think you know this defense is going to...
And the Heat will get home, and the quarterback goes down at the 17.
Defensive linemen live to get after the quarterback, to get sacks, to get by those big hot mollies up front on the offensive line and say, you taste dirt.
That's the end of the second quarter. That means it's time to join Kevin in our halftime update.
Guys, you've been calling a lively one from Norman so far. 2 quarters of both sides feeling each other out. And it's likely to come down to which offense can find a way to generate some big plays. Adjustments will be a part of it. Maybe it's time these typically conservative play callers open up the playbook. Nothing crazy, but a calculated risk here and there to try to gain an edge in what's been a stalemate. And with that, let's head back to Oklahoma and Memorial Stadium.
Here comes the Oklahoma offense. First drive of the second half, always fun to watch. You see what type of tweaks were made at the half, especially when you're locked up in a ball game like this one.
Yeah, and it's been a good game. I mean, it's been a little bit of back and forth and a feeling out process. And now once you get in the second half, who's going to get aggressive, Palmer? Who's going to take some shots, try to make some plays, and really go for it?
Yeah, it's interesting. I think as play callers right now, you learn a lot about these coaching staffs with respect to who does make the best adjustments. There's a lot of coaches that believe we're just going to be who we are. We're going to keep doing what we do. We're just going to do it better. But then there are others that tweak things a little bit on offense and on defense. We're going to find out here.
Catch in the middle, it's sharp. That's about as close as you can get to that marker, and it will be second and just a few breaths away from the first down. And they'll come to the line with less than a yard to go. Looking to throw, it's Arnold. And they got him. They'll get him down for the sack. How about that Bayou Bengal defensive front showing some dominance? Booger McFarland, Marcus Spears like in their pressure.
And that defensive line getting to the quarterback, and they got so many guys that we could name like Spears that you just mentioned, like Booger in the pad.
And he feels the heat coming in. It burns him up. Another sack.
And when you run that screen, it takes a lot more time to develop because those offensive linemen, remember, they're going to block, release, and go get somebody. Quarterback's got to get rid of that ball a lot faster when you're running those screen plays.
The offense failed to convert on fourth down earlier, but that didn't change their thinking here. Let's it fly. What a snag by the defense. Got some room to run. And just an outstanding return. Takes it back to the 7-yard line.
We've just seen in this game the ball has just gotten away from him a little bit. A couple of times, just hasn't been able to put it where he wants to. And as a result, that's now his second pick thrown in this game.
He's looking to throw. And he is finding wide open defenders all over the field. His third interception of the day. And they'll drag him down after a good return on the interception.
Back-to-back possessions, 2 forced turnovers, 2 interceptions. Defenses are salivating. That gets you excited. I'm the next guy trying to make a big play. I'm bragging about it if I've already got 1 pick. But if I'm the other guys, I'm like, wait a minute. I got to get me 1 too.
Trying to start the drive with a pass. Complete to the right. Running toward the tape. He's at the 20. Touchdown Sooners. And with that one, they jump on top here in the second half. Quick timeout call by the offense after the play.
This offense is so explosive, they can change the scoreboard in a flash. You just saw that on that drive.
And the PAT gives them a 14-7 lead. Lining up to cover the kick after that touchdown drive. Fielded in the end zone, it's Williams. He stopped short of the 20 at the 19 and probably wishes he'd just taken the touchback. LSU will dive into the playbook here on offense. That last possession, a prime example, Jesse, of how things get condensed in the red zone.
Hard to throw when the windows are smaller, and that's what happens down near the goal line, David. But for this quarterback here, just take accountability and ownership and come out here and lead your offense.
And move on. Like, we needed points. That's something that we can harp on. We'll watch the tape this week, but now it's time to move on. Let's get another drive going.
Out of the gun, the inside give. He's dropped behind the line of scrimmage. That'll be a loss of 3.
Yeah, when you get penetration by that defense right away, and there's no way to cut at all for that back, he gets destroyed right away. No way that play was going to be successful. Way too much penetration.
Wants to throw. It's Nussmeier. And the quarterback caught up to and sacked at the 12. Just a great job defensively, making him go through his progressions, and he really didn't have time to do it.
And that's exactly what you do in zone coverage. You drop in your spots, you read the quarterback's eyes, make sure you take away that quick stuff, and a great job rushing the passer and getting the sack.
Now the Oklahoma offense will go back to work. They torched this defense with an explosive passing play for a score last time out. Let's see if they go right back at him. First down here for the offense. Oh, he's looking to throw. Oh, it's a pass. It falls incomplete. How about the trickeration on first down that just goes awry? After the misfire, it's 2nd and 10. Wide receiver coming across in motion. Quarterback wants to throw on 2nd down. Quickly complete.
And quarterback dropping back, understanding. I'm getting zone coverage. All I got to do is be a little bit patient, manipulate that defense a little bit. My wide receiver runs that drag, and I get the first down.
They'll snap it from the 28 in field goal range, but it's 3rd and short. He is going nowhere. Stop at the line of scrimmage.
How about the defender being a heat-seeking missile? He was on radar lock. He found the football and flew down with some bad intentions.
On 4th down, he'll try to toss it. He's got him, and they convert. And the defense makes the immediate tackle, but he has enough for the first down. Sometimes we don't give enough credit to a receiver knowing exactly where he needs to be on the field, and they pick up the first down there.
Yeah, and you've got to give the receiver credit, obviously knowing where that is, but the defender needs to know where it is too. Where is he trying to get? That ball's going to come out quick. He didn't really understand where the sticks were, and because of that, he gives up the first down. Need to just be a little bit more aware as a defensive guy.
2nd down after that incompletion. Back to throw, it's Arnold. Incomplete. He had to get rid of it before he wanted to. The defense put the heat on.
This is going to be a key that we look at this entire game. How can this defense find ways to affect this quarterback and get pressure on him? Because they felt coming into the...
Pressure is on the way, and the pressure has arrived, and down he goes at the 30.
I tell you what, if I'm this QB, I am ill as a hornet in my offensive line. Are you kidding me? That's the 6th time they put me on the ground. Dudes, will y'all protect me a little bit better, please?
The official says no good, and the margin remains at 7 after the miss. They'll crank up this drive from the 30-yard line. Takes a handoff. It's Durham. That play just never had a chance. They knock him down for a loss of 5. We reached the quarter break with Oklahoma on top. They've built a cushion. They've got a nice lead. Now the task is finish the deal as you take a look at the 3rd quarter stats. One more period to go to see who can make the winning plays and come home with the victory. 2nd down now as they're ready to go back to work. He's looking to throw. Got a man, it's Durham. They bring him down, but a solid pickup to put them in position to pick up a first down.
Guys out of the backfield now, it's not just run the ball downhill anymore. You got to be versatile. I got to be able to trust you in the pass game, and I got to be able to throw you the football, and you can do that right there. I know you're going to catch it, and I can depend on it.
And it is another interception. Just a terrible struggle for this quarterback. And they'll close in on him after a good return on the interception.
And that just kind of caps off this day. It's been a day with not a lot of rhythm, not a lot of timing, not a lot of guys on the same page, and they weren't right there, and the quarterback throws an INT, and this one is not looking good.
Well, the quarterback knew where he wanted to go with the ball. His intended target just wasn't open, so the quarterback made sure he put that football in the stands.
Line getting set on second down. Looking to throw, it's Arnold. Now improvising. He'll try to do it himself. And they'll stop him just short of the first down, just inches away from moving the sticks. Ball's at the 27. It's third and short. Can they avoid making that fourth down decision? They'll keep it on the ground to keep this clock moving. The Sooners pick up the first down.
And how about this offense? They haven't ran the football great today. But right now, when it matters the most, can you be good? Can you be physical? Can you tick that clock and run the rock?
Inside the 25, they'll snap it from the 24. First down. He's looking to throw it. Grabbed in the middle. It's Sharp. And that is good versatility there, and a big hit from the backer in pass coverage.
I'll say this, man. In college football, you see a lot of bad tackling. You didn't see it right there. That was an awesome job. First off, being there at the point of attack. Once the tight end made the catch, there was no doubt he was going down. Great job form tackle.
A little bit more to go after that last completion. They'll try to pick it up on second down. He's looking to throw. Rush coming in hot, and they got him at the 29.
Goodness gracious. This is a master class, a clinic on how to get to the quarterback. The 7th sack of the game. Are you kidding me? That's a season for some teams. They've lived in the backfield.
And he's not going to make it. The defense denying him the first down.
How about the job by this defense today? They knew what they were getting into. A really good running back. We talked to him this week. It was the main foot.
Oh, it's a fake, and the kicker's going to throw it. And I guess they thought they'd find the field goal block team napping. They were wide awake, and they come up with the stop. I know they wanted to be aggressive, throw caution to the wind. They might have been better off playing it safe there. He'll pull it down and run. Solid fundamentals on that tackle from this freshman. We have reached the 2-minute warning, and time is of the essence if this offense is going to make a play. And here comes the offense on second down. Scanning the field, it's Nussmeier. And you just don't expect your junior quarterback to get fooled and to throw it into double coverage like that.
Really nice job there by the safety back in the middle of the field. You see his range and the speed. He's able to close on the ball and then knock it away. Nice play.
Throws for the tight end. Oh, what a spectacular layout and catch. They immediately call timeout, trying to preserve every second they can to try to rally here late. The Tigers with the 1st and 10. He's going to pass. Throws to the tight end. Tip ball, put it up for grabs, and I thought he had it, but somehow it slithered through his fingers.
One of the reasons this defense is so hard to move the football on, they've got a safety back there who's just reading the QB's eyes, and he's so athletic and so fast. He's able to break passes up, and right now, it's like he's just toying with the quarterback. He's inviting him to try and take some shots, knowing that he's going to get there to disrupt the ball.
A quick tackle made, but he's got plenty for the first down.
Man, this quarterback is going to have to be deadly accurate here in this 2-minute situation, right? And that's really what he's had to be all game long. He hasn't had a lot of yards because the coverage has just been so tight. He's had to be pinpoint perfect. It's been hard just to find completions, no doubt. That's going to be the same thing here in this 2-minute drive.
Man, that's a couple bad throws. Last possession obviously ends in an interception by this quarterback, and now you throw another one, in harm's way. You got to make sure you're throwing to the open guy. Make sure you're taking care of that football. We can't have any more turnovers.
Got his man! And he's tripped up, but not before picking up the first down.
Got to give this defense tons of credit. How good have they been on the back end in coverage? It just feels like every time this QB is throwing the ball, it's been contested. They haven't given up a lot of yards, and they need to continue to be great in coverage with the lead in this 2-minute situation.
Complete downfield. Defense makes a stop, but the chains move, and it's 1st and goal from the 8.
That's the one danger defensively when you want to play zone coverage, because you leave a lot of windows and pockets out on the field. And if the offensive quarterback find one, they could hurt.
Touchdown LSU! Made the snag and strolled his way into the end zone.
What a massive play by this offense. Man, you needed it. Great execution. Now kick the extra point, tie this football game up late, or do you go for 2? Do you go for the win? Do you try to take the lead? That is a you decision.
Coming down the stretch in the 4th, and we are all tied up, about set to kick it away. Here he comes from inside his own 5. Really disciplined job by the coverage unit to get down there and make the stop at the 19. Here come the Sooners ready to go on offense. A pretty good bit of ground to cover here, Jesse, but they've got some time to work with.
They do, so tempo is going to be important. You got to go fast. You just got to make good decisions at the quarterback position.
And those good decisions are throwing the ball beyond the sticks, using the sidelines to get out of bounds, trying to maximize this time and get in a position to win.
They'll use a timeout with 26 seconds left on the clock. They'll line up with trips to the right side on 2nd and 6. Looking for a man. It's Arnold. He finds his man. He's out of bounds, but not before picking up enough for the first down. Just another big play for this guy who spent the entire game wide open, couple of touchdowns there, and he moves the sticks again, David.
Yeah, so I'll keep finding him, Reese. I mean, this is a guy that, listen, we're in the second half now. He's already made plays. I know I can trust him, so I'm going to continue to feature him in this offense because I know he'll continue to make big plays.
He wants to throw. Feeling some heat. And he was hit just as he was releasing the pass, and it falls to the ground incomplete.
It doesn't take this defense a lot of time to get to the quarterback, man. They've got speed all over the place. They hit him so quickly, and because of that, the ball falls incomplete.
He's back to throw on 2nd down. And he can't find anyone open, and down he goes. A sack here late in the 4th. 4 quarters not enough to settle this one. We're headed to overtime.
And these teams have played so well, back and forth, evenly contested game. How about a little free football, Jesse?
Yeah, I love this, David. Free football and finding out which of these two teams is the most mature. Who can settle down now with the game on the line and make the big play.
All right, guys, so here we go in overtime. And just to refresh everyone's memory, alternating possessions starting on the opponent's 25.
And it's so nice to be on defense first, just to set the tone, to understand what you need. Try to hold them to a field goal. The offense knows they can do their job to go out and get a win. Just 2 possessions, Palmer. Like, you got to be at your best.
Yeah, and I love the new rules, too, because in the 3rd overtime possession, it goes to alternating 2-point plays, back and forth. Who's got anything left in the tank here in OT?
Offense will use a timeout here to make sure everyone is on the same page here in overtime. The Sooners have it with a 1st and 10.
29 Philly. 2-9 Philly.
Looking to move it through the air. Myers on the move. If he runs this back, this game's over. Looking for more room. He's at the 40. Past the 20. The 10. And that will put a stamp on it. A game-deciding play as they seal it with a pick. And, man, just a soul-crushing turnover by this offense here in overtime.
It's so tough throwing the ball down in this area of the field, right? The windows are so much smaller, and they open and they close so much quicker. You've got to be so precise with timing and accuracy if you're the quarterback. And that time,
he's in! A game-winning touchdown in overtime!
Quarterback's abilities to read the field is huge, and also the anticipation, the timing. To be able to throw the football, Jesse, and hit a guy in stride so he can get run after the catch and get in the end zone, that was a nice job by the quarterback.
yeah, it's critical, David. Listen, a lot of times, touchdown passes aren't thrown into the end zone. You've got to read the coverage, hit the open guy, and let him do the rest.
I know how to sum up this game succinctly. That was fun, and what a victory to remember.
Fun for them, fun for us, just the back and forth, games that are so nip and tuck. And you know every play matters so much. These are the games that we love to call.
Yeah, every play matters, David, and that's why coaching staffs practice overtime scenarios and situations throughout the week. It's important to drill these types of scenarios. You never know what games are going to go to OT, and when they do, you love to be able to go out and execute with the game on the line.
That's going to do it for us. For Jesse Palmer, David Pollack, our entire broadcast team, I'm Reese Davis. This has been another presentation of EA Sports College Football.